There we go. Hello, everyone. Hope you are all doing amazing today. We're going to be doing some fun stuff. I can't wait to share. But before we begin, I do want to plug our Discord. If you want to go ahead and join the Discord, we have a lot of fun stuff going on over there. And so would love to see some of you guys on over there. So you can find that in the description of this VOD, or if you're watching it live, in the description of this live stream as well. See, the social post is live. There we go. Yeah, just checking some things on my end. Just give me one second. Isaac and Solo already here. Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. Super Rad Max, what is going on? Hope you're doing great. I am. I hope you are doing great as well. But yeah, we are ready to go ahead and jump on into it. But yeah, so basically what we are doing today is I was organizing on my NAS and all this stuff. I need some more space on the NAS and just organize some stuff because I have two PCs now. And the problem I was running into is that everything is disorganized. I had like some things on the other PC, something, you know, all that type of stuff. So today we're going to be looking at some of my old projects and having some fun there. So I hope you guys will get some fun out of this. But let's see. I'm pretty sure I put this stuff in. Where did I put that stuff? Let's see. I totally forgot. Is it here? I think it's here. Yeah, here we go. Old projects. I can't wait to see some of this stuff go on a memory lane. This is more memory. Let me put some music too. I forgot to do the music before we did stream. I know you guys are missing that right now. We'll do no copyright. I'm gonna trust it. Hopefully it does.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm a lawyer at Atticus.
Hey, Sarah. Let's see. Make sure it's not too loud. But yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and start. So we got some old projects here. And let's start going through them. So animations. This was for old YouTube stuff. Let's go ahead and start like a Discord. Or not a Discord, a DaVinci. So I can start dropping in some of this stuff. Okay, I think I know what these are already, so we're gonna see. So I got some of this stuff. These are old animations I had for my old Discord, my old sub thing. Now it's gonna be lagging a lot because everything is on the NAS. I don't have this. The NAS is set up for long-term storage, not like editing and stuff. So, but yeah, so we have the first one. This was all made in Blender. Do I have the Blender projects as well? I do. Huh, that's gonna be fun. We'll look through some of the Blender projects as well. Turn that music down. Okay, so yeah, so look at this little Blender animation we got going on. We got the little bell icon. And now I didn't know how to do like 2D animation back in the day, right? So like I thought it would be easier since I already know 3D and stuff to go ahead and do that. So we have a simple material. I could have actually set it to be just an emission material. You know, something like this. So there you go. So now it's like perfectly 2D basically. But yeah, we just have this, a nice little logo, and then we have like a plane right here that's basically just holding out everything. Pretty sure it's just set to a holdout. Yep. But yeah, just a very simple animation. I think it swipes back at the end. You know, just a nice little animation. I think the same things are the Discord and Patreon ones as well. This one I'm pretty proud of. This was the old Patreon logo. Except it kind of hides this one, doesn't it? It's annoying. But yeah. It's a kind of cool little animation. I miss this Patreon logo because the new Patreon logo is kind of trash. I don't know. Let's see, where is it? Shameless plug for my Patreon. Do they not have? Oh, here it is up at the top. Yeah, you can barely see it, but it sucks now. I don't like it. So yeah, this little blob thing, I don't know. I think this was so powerful. I just like that logo. Even this one's like fine. I like this one less so, but the new one just absolutely awful. That's my hot take. How to go about learning color space and composition overall. Just keep doing work. You know, I learned all my stuff over just trial and error for years and years. Look up as much information as possible. I know a lot of stuff from just teaching myself online, right? I think this one's loud. Let's turn down the yeah, so I mean like here's what I tell most people is like look at your favorite content creators and stuff like that. They've probably done hundreds if not thousands of shots and stuff. You know, I know like hopefully this will highlight today just how long I've been doing this stuff, right? And so all this like knowledge and stuff and information is like compounded on itself. So yeah, all this stuff is basically just a bunch of holdouts and stuff like that. So just layer base, you know. I think I have the camera set to orthographic too. Let's see. No, it's perspective. Well, dang, dude, Jacob. See, I even know a lot more stuff now that I can I could have done better for these. Maybe I'll make some more of these and then we'll just quickly go over the Discord, but I think you guys kind of get it. Abstract, welcome. You're seeing the old Jacob. Yeah, I don't have the logo anymore. Yeah, but the Discord thing kind of like popped on down here. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, so it kind of like popped on and then it just came up and then just slid away. So I did PNG sequences back then. I didn't realize back then that you could do MOV files with transparency. And so I had these folders and then I also had I think a green screen version of them. So it looks like I just have the Patreon, but yeah, green screen didn't really work, especially because the way I compressed it. Like, look, I know you guys can't see it too much because it's on a live stream, so it's probably compressing it a little bit more as well. But like, I didn't have knowledge on compressing and good like things and stuff. This was back before H.265. H.265 is amazing now. It's a great codec. Okay, so those are the animations. Let's look at the Anvil. See if I can go in the Blender project. I did not organize that well back then, so we shall see. Here, my NAS. Oh yeah. So funny thing. I wish I could go, for some reason on Instagram, you can't go to your archive things. But this was like one of my original things. Oh, Abstract posted something. One day ago. I didn't. Oh, wait, this is my wrong profile. Yeah, I'm signed into the wrong profile. Whoopsies. That was my business profile. But yeah, like all the way back, you know, it's gone now because I hit it. But it was funny. It was like this is like one of my first realistic, you know, renders inside of Blender. I followed, was it Blender Guru had a tutorial on it or something? And I didn't shade smooth. Or wait. Oh, these are marked as seams. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, so this is how I learned like a little bit of texturing. I think my goal was texturing. This is my first time using like an HDRI, I believe. One of the first. And then just a little bit of modeling, right? So like you were saying before, Tushar, however you say your name, like projects like these are great. Like looking back on it now, it's like kind of basic, right? But they taught me so much. I don't know where the outliner is. Ooh, I had some dupes over here. What are these? What are these guys? Ah, yeah, so I also learned Boolean and the mirror modifier, I believe. Yeah. So again, these are just kind of like, you know, early Jacob, you know, kind of learning the program and stuff. So I remember finding out about HDRIs and being blown away because I would always struggle with lighting. And I was like, no way, an image that just has the lighting baked in and stuff. Oh, I see. Don't even like it. What? What are you saying? Oh, like, oh yeah. Yeah, why the heck would I like your stuff? Yeah, Boolean modifier. You know, to be fair, what's the material look like on this? I'm curious. Okay, so just rustic material. I wonder where it's from. Probably like Polyhaven, or maybe it was a 3 polygon thing because he was trying to do that back, you know. Well, he's still doing it, but really trying to promote it, I think, during this time. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Are these 4K? Yeah, dang. Jacob's little computer could handle it back then, huh? This was when I was, this was like the first time I got the 2060 laptop. So, let's see some of these. Yeah, so here's I think this is literally the thing I posted on Instagram. And then we have the spinning looping animation. You know, it was pretty cool that I made a looping animation. I remember I didn't even like look at the tutorial or whatever because I did it one time, and what I realized is you can't just set it to just do a 360 and then end the clip or whatever. You actually had to end the clip 1 frame early to make it loop. So, quick tip: what is this? Normal map. I think we are baking. Can't remember exactly what we're doing, but I think we were baking a low resolution and high resolution mesh. So that's why it looks like that. Actually, let me go back inside Blender. I wonder. Well, what is this one? I didn't see this one. This one was hiding from me. Okay, so this is like the you know, the high resolution one. Kind of broke all my. Holy cow. Okay, it's actually not too bad. Yeah, because I was learning sculpting at the time. So you can see all the sculpting stuff. I think Blender sculpting has gotten a lot better. So much better. I remember it was such a pain back in the day. Look at this mesh. Crazy. Okay, anyway, we'll move on. Let's go to the next one. So Avatar. I think I vaguely remember what this is. I think it's a little bit of fluid sim. Never mind. This one is a blank project. Either it didn't save properly with the newer versions, or yeah, I think it's just a old thing. Huh. Well, there you go. Now we'll never know. I'll delete that one. I think I was trying to do that, and then I made a new project folder. Here we go. Avatar VFX. I think I know what this one is, and if so, yeah, look at that guy. Here's my college self. See, I don't know why that one wasn't playing. We might have to drop some of these in the DaVinci project. No, these are just like corrupted or something. Oh, here we go. Look at this shot. Very revealing, Jacob. It's kind of funny. There is so much good info, cool stuff on your channel. Please never delete any of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have stuff hidden. I don't delete stuff, but yeah, you can see my old mic setup over here. You know, this is the dorm room. We had 2 rooms, so here's like my bed, and then we had 2 people per room, and then we had like a little bathroom. That's this door over here and stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to make like a little Avatar, you know, kind of animation and stuff. Love Avatar. That was the first show I saw all the way through. But yeah, let's take a look at what are some of this stuff. Whatever that is. Nice. No blur. Yeah, I was testing some stuff. So again, I'm testing, like even in the same project, I'll do many different versions to see if I like it better or not. Yeah, so like the background is more depth of fieldy. I think it's more like Gaussian blur. And some like weird stuff are going on with coloring or stuff. Let's see what this is. It's just still up. Let's hop in the Blender project. Oh yeah, look at that them. Isn't that crazy? I'm telling you guys, never delete your old work. You're gonna thank me. Then you can come back years later. I mean, this stuff here. Let's. Is there a date that we can check? 2020. Okay, so we go to 5 years ago. Yeah, so literally. Also, it's going to be super laggy because this is on my NAS now. Just so you guys know. Dang. Look at all that mesh bake. I did the liquid in Blender, and Blender is awful. I can do modeling, texturing, and rendering in Arnold and Cycle. I don't want to have a render good in like Nuke, but I don't know what to learn in general things. What are the general things in compositing? Yeah, so just look up, you know, color matching, you know, matching the light levels of the CG to the real world things. And then just multipass rendering and stuff like that. You know, there's not really one place to start. It's kind of like, you know, just look up some basic tutorials is what I would say if you're like really wanting to just learn inside of Nuke. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. What's the scene look like? Oh yeah, I have some pictures. So if this tells you any how clean our room was, for some reason the this picture is like hidden. Let's see. It's disabled on the camera. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, so just surrounding it with cameras. I want to see some of these pictures though. Yeah, so here's my room. This is the front view of it, right? So just getting those realistic reflections. Here's a side view. Here's like my setup over here. You can see my sick chair that killed my back. This is where I learned Blender, right here. Isn't that crazy? Dang, I did not make the marks on the wall. Those were already there. But yeah, very dorm roomy. Sharing it with 4 people was crazy. You got the microwave and the blank wall. So super sick. What else do we have? We have water. I think this was the actual simulation bit of it. And then yeah, just the ball and stuff. So nothing too more exciting to see. But yeah, dang. What are some of these? These are the pictures. So yeah, that's the that's one of my first liquid simulations. Action VFX has recently done a 6-part Nuke tutorial for free. Interesting. Yeah, you should definitely check that. I'm hoping it's good because they're a pretty big company. So, building. Don't know if I remember this one. Oh yeah, this is me learning the Ian Hubert method. It's actually like not. I think I'm literally just extruding this little bit. I don't even think I'm doing everything like over here and stuff. Can't remember exactly what I was testing. Let's see the Blender project. From Japan, welcome, welcome. Nothing shouts more than dorm room than the random slice of pizza. I know, bro. That was freaking, my roommates love pizza. It was wild. Let's see. Oh well. But yeah, a random. Okay, I was doing some extrusion, so why didn't it look like that? That was weird. Yeah, this bit just doesn't, it looks like it's not extruded to me. To be fair, I mean, I was literally just learning this stuff, right? So yeah, none of the textures are in this file, unfortunately. And Blender's crashing. Check the okay, making sure the music's not too loud. Yeah. Oh, and then I also had they had lock camera to view. That's how I would used to position the camera versus doing Control F back in the day. And also, what is this thing? I think that's something to do with like the miss pass or something. Or is that a focus point? I can't remember what that is. Maybe focus, yeah. Yeah, so that was a boring one. That was me just kind of testing around some stuff. Bullet time. I think I know this one. So originally, where is VLC? There we go. Yeah, here we go. Here's one of my first object tracks. How I did object tracking back in the day was doing a camera track and just placing the object where it was, you know, so what really wasn't object tracking. Also, I didn't realize back then about the subdivision surface. I tried to fix this. There are 2 things wrong with this. Number one is this thing. I can never figure out why this back here was like that. And then I could never figure out why it didn't look like that, because I wanted to add a suppressor to the gun, right? And I could never figure out why it was giving me that error. And so let's see, do we have the Blender project? We do. Let's go in and test to see if I see. There's a okay. Well, it's just the Instagram version. Let's see if I can fix it now. Fix those things now. Hey, look at that. Okay, so let's see. I was in Cycles back then. Cycles looks a little different now. Was I doing any compositing? I guess I was doing some compositing. Dang, Jacob, look at that. Back in the day, I'm on Aces too, so everything's gonna look a little different. But yeah, so let's fix our model a little bit, see if we can get it more like the original vision. So there's that. Oh, shades smooth. Just make it tighter, something like that. Yeah. Oh, we didn't even have a subdivision surface on it, so it was just a modeling issue for me. Well, there you go. Let's fix this back. There we go. Look at that. Now that's a suppressor and not a silencer, so I don't get canceled by you guys. Well, there you go. So not bad, you know. Let's give this a little render. I want to see what the compositing's doing. Render's pretty fast on the 5090 now. This is just a little bit faster. So let's see. We got the movie distortion and scale. I didn't know what the movie distortion did back in the day. I didn't realize that it was distorting the footage. So like this is wrong. You never want to distort the actual footage for the final render. So I should have done this, set this to distort, and then disabled that. So now it's distorting the CG. I turn this on and off, you know, ever so slightly. But yeah, that's technically accurate now. But what was I doing? Let's see. This brightness and contrast. Yeah, super basic. But yeah, sick. I was bullet time. Bullet time test. Okay, I remember I was super like, I love doing the bullet time stuff. Yeah, smoke. This was like because I wanted to do that shot, but the original thing was that he was going to be shooting a bullet, and I could never figure out the smoke. But then I went back to it later and actually did it. So I'll be interested to see if we see that as well. But yeah, just a quick little smoke sim. This is on my 2060, and I didn't realize, I think you can set it to multiple volume light pass render. Oh yeah, this is also when I was testing the difference between Eevee and Cycles, because I was like, okay, Eevee is so much faster. Can I get it to look like Cycles? And as you can see, I did not succeed, unfortunately. But these are our groundwork steps though. This is like, you know, these are great learning things, because I was very like, me at the time, I didn't really do a lot of tutorials and stuff like that. You know, you'll probably see a few in here, like the Anvil we already saw and stuff like that. But I was very much a like, hey, let's have a short, simple goal in mind, and let's try to make it myself. And if I get stuck, you know, maybe do a tutorial. Like, I'm sure this was a tutorial, but I kind of did my own thing on it, right? And so, yeah. Go into I'll be curious to see if the smoke sim is still. No, doesn't look like it's cached or anything, unfortunate. But yeah, let's see. I wanted to check the light paths, and I didn't have motion blur as well. I forgot about that. Let's see, light paths. Yeah, for some reason, again, this is like very silly in my mind. I think they need to change some of these default numbers. I think transmission being 12 is a little high. I would set this to like 6. I would set volume to 1 or 2, probably 2, and then transparent I would keep at 6, and then total keep at like 6, right? I think this is a good spread. Maybe even decrease diffuse and glossy. Maybe not though, that's a little questionable. But like, I think this is a better spread than what they natively had it on. So that's just a me thing. But yeah, unfortunately. Oh yeah, and I didn't know a great way to do the camera circling right. like how I would probably do it now instead of doing like a curve path and stuff like that is I'd probably parent the camera to this empty and rotate the empty, because then it'll be a perfect circle. And just make, because that way the empty is like perfectly, you know, the center of whatever you want to stare, versus like if you wanted to change some of this stuff, you know, it would throw off some stuff for sure. It's not even like perfectly centered either, so it just throws a lot of complications. So that was the old method I used to do. I don't do that anymore. Oh yeah, the quintessential. I feel like everybody. Let me know if you're watching, if you've done anything like this before, where it's, here's the reference. Let's see if I have the actual shot. I think I have the shot actually in my full thing. Let's go to that real quick. Or it's in chicken. Yeah, so let's see some of this stuff. Here it is. So here's the final version. I guess it's not saved in the thing, but this was a very instrumental to me because it was, again, I think a tutorial, right? The glass is super, super thin, but you can see I'm starting to get an eye for detail, right? It's the same HRI as before, but like I'm slowly starting to understand PBR a little bit more. You know, I don't know what's going on with the texture here. But you can see I'm slowly trying to do some stuff. There's some like weird reflections with this like glass bit right here. So I'd probably look to see that. Blender sucks with glass back then. It's a little bit better now, but still not the best, you know? So yeah, having some issues back there. But yeah, that was this is me trying to learn PBR. Let's see if everything's still loaded. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the HRI. Again, this is like, you know, one of the first times I'm learning HRI. The glass is not connected to the ground. And the ground, what the heck, Jacob? What is going on with you? The ground's not connected to the floor ground. That's weird. Dang. Also, this is so freaky. Let me turn on, I was doing this the other day. We'll set it up to like 128. Let's do optics. Oh, we got something. Thanks for the sub. Tamar. Let's turn this off. But yeah, like feels kind of like real time, like a video game and stuff, just going around. It's like a cool feeling. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, let's figure out some of the stuff. So I want to see if this is a light pads issue or what's going on there. Yeah, it's light pass. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. But yeah, this thing is super, super, yeah, and I baked it out already, so we can't change it. But yeah, the quintessential, you gotta make a mug with some water droplets on it. Let's see how I did the water droplets. I'm kind of curious now. Yeah, just a water droplet thing. And is it over the whole glass? Is this glass one object? How'd I do the water drop? Are they two separate materials? That's hilarious. We got the glass down here and then the glass with condensation up here. That's kind of funny. Dang. Well, yeah. Again, very quintessential in my learning. Let's see the PBR material. See if I yeah, I didn't know about the here. Let's see if we can make it better. For some reason it's red. I think is it this material? Regular 3K. Yeah, this is just isn't a good material. It's think the normal is too big. There's also a bump. Let's just get rid of the bump and just do normal to normal. Interesting. The normal's not too strong. Let's get that bump back in here. I'm just curious why it looks like. Yeah, so maybe something like this. And I definitely would need to download a higher res file. But not bad, you know. I'm not going to spend more time on the... Should call this fixing my old projects stream. Okay, here's an old background that I did. Somebody had sent me this photo. And so this was like my first attempt at like recreating something that's like actually real life, you know? And then let's see, what is this? Let's see, tests. Yeah, you can just see I'm numbering my tests. So this is one. This is the first time I was figuring out about actually doing displacement in the geometry instead of doing the displacement map. I remember finding this out and being blown away at how good it looked. We'll just progress. So this test 4, for some reason I only rendered there. Yeah, so slowly getting it in, getting some of the windows. And keep in mind, I'm like pretty much doing all myself. Like the only textures and stuff I'm using, well, I'm using textures for everything, but like some stuff up here are like PBR, like this like stucco or whatever that is, like PBR, obviously. So the glass I really struggled with for a while up here, so you can see that actually might be the reflection of this over here. I can't tell. And then some weird stuff with the pipe. But yeah, testing around with some different lighting. This lighting was better. This is just an HDRI lighting, but also I was super lazy in the background. I was like, that's way too much detail for me to know. I'm just going to slap the texture on back there. So cheated a little bit, but still not bad. Yeah, so playing around with some depth of field. You can see all the noise and stuff. I didn't realize that depth of field introduces a ton of noise and you need to update your sample count. You know, so just slowly adding some stuff back in, and yeah, let's see the final. Yeah, here's the final. Look how perfect that is. Yeah, it has some weird stuff going on up here, but compared to the original, you know, it's something. Oh, the original had this weird thing too. Why can't I move? Yeah, so I think I was trying to recreate that. Final render, here we go. I didn't do any color correction or compositing either, so. Super sick. I actually want to, we do have the blend file. Let's take a look inside of there. Have you guys ever checked back on your old Blender projects or anything? Yeah, this was cool. I found out a way to, it's going to lag a lot because it's on the NAS to load in. Max shader compilation. See if optics loads fast or not. Could take a little bit. Yeah, don't have the textures in anymore. But this was cool back then. Me figuring out how to do procedural roads and stuff, you know? And all this is, let's check. I think it's just an array and a follow curve, or yeah, just a curve modifier. So I remember being like blown away by that, you know? How easy it was, so. And then have some like reflections. I think that was for the over here. Yeah, reflections on the windows. And then this was me cheating the background. So, oh well. Yeah, none of the textures are in here, unfortunately. Look at this amazing tree model, though. I think I did this myself, actually. Look at that tree. Man, that's a good tree. That's better than the trees I can make now. Does have some bark texture, so that's something. Let's come back out of here. But yeah, that was my first attempt at like kind of a realistic scene. See some explosions now. Yeah. Gotta love Blender smoke sims. Let's see if the smoke sim is still loaded. I doubt it. It's in the editing workspace. Okay. This is me following a tutorial. I'm pretty sure this was a tutorial. Valentine, welcome, welcome. We were checking some old Blender projects of mine. Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, it was an explosion. Then I realized, like, this was around the time I did, like, Embergen, and I'm pretty sure that's what this is. No, this was me trying to do it in Blender the second time. And, like, yeah, I could never figure out the ending. Like, the start is decent, but the ending is, like, you know, I can't figure that out. I'll just take a quick look inside of here and see. Yeah, because I think, like, back in the day, it'll just give you a lot of glitches. I mean, even now, Blender smoke and liquid sin is absolutely awful. But I had to do those projects to learn, right? There's no harm in learning. Hills, I don't remember this. Let's see. Oh, this is the this is it CG Matter tutorial. Yeah, you can see my awful tree assets again. This was back abstract. If you're still in stream, this is why I don't use make my own assets. I've just never been good at it. And I never wanted to spend the time to be good at it. I think that's the other thing, is like I'm always more interested in other aspects of the shots that, like, you know, I'd rather just use assets that are pre-made. But yeah, you can see a lot of the back here. We'll go into the I don't know the difference between these projects. Get the articles back on. Yeah, look at this. Dang. Where's the do we have? And I was optimizing back then. I mean, you can see weight painting the areas that only the camera sees. I don't know where the fog is. Let's go on the other project. I want to see what this, I think this other project might be better. This is just for the trees. Let's take a look at this sick tree asset. Yeah, look at that. Let's remove the leaves. Man, Jacob was popping off back then. Dang, I used to be so good. I kind of fall off. But yeah, that scene again. I don't know what happened to the fog. Yeah, here's like a shorter version. You can see I'm having a lot of denoise artifacts. That's either denoise or actually it might be me trying some color correction, maybe. But the fog is actually pretty good. Like, I remember that was the one thing from the tutorial I actually really liked, and I actually did that in some client stuff later on. So it's a good kind of fake volumetrics way to do a thing. All it is just a 2D plane. This thing right here, actually. See if I can render it out. Yeah, you can barely see it, but do you see there's like some noisy fog stuff or whatever? You just layer that over like a million times. Let's see, where would that be? Is this it? I think it is actually. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, so you just, and again, all it is, if I select it, I don't know why it's not selecting. There we go. Yeah, all it is just a bunch of planes. 2D planes, and yeah, gives off fog. Yeah, you can see though you have to up your I think it's transmission or translucent, maybe light path, transparent I meant. Yeah, you have to bump those up a ton. You know, something like that, so you can see all the way back there. So setting it up to 233. Yeah, but just a good way to get like some fake fog and stuff like that. So look at my texturing of the, I knew the hills were going to be covered up with trees. Right, so I just threw on a crappy texture and stuff. This is ant landscape, I'm pretty sure too. Either that or is it displacement? It might be, no, it's ant landscape, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember actually. It could have been me like just, I don't think I would have sculpted it. But yeah, so you can like see it through here and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, this was like my first attempt at like a full CG shot, I think. Especially, this was very ambitious for me at the time because I had the 2060 laptop. So this thing probably took like 10 hours to render. 10 hours to render this shot, which is funny. Not this shot, this one. And we're still having problems and stuff like that. This is also back when I had a super tiny screen on my laptop, so I couldn't see like obvious issues like this stuff back here. The bigger you can blow up your work, the better it is to see issues like that, right? Multimedia, what is going on? What is my PC spec? Right now I'm on a 5090 and 285K, I think is what it's called, the CPU, and then 64 gigs of RAM. Okay, so that was that. Mother. I remember this funny story. She was half joking, half being serious. But I wanted to I just wanted to test it out based on what she said, because my mom, she used to run a fabric business, so like just from a work from home type of thing or whatever, and she was like, hey, could you do an image for me, you know, like a product image or something like that, right? And I think it was a joke, I think, but I was like, hey, honestly, I wonder how you would do that in Blender. So I did this project. So I started out, yeah, none of the materials figures, but yeah, I started out with a cloth simulation. Is cloth simulation? Oh yeah, the cloth simulation is still there. So I did a cloth simulation and just did some hair particles, and then I put a texture on it. The texture is not loaded in, but I did some light texture work just to test it. This was like, even back in the day, this was super fast for me. So just a quick little like kind of test, you know, to get the image on. I can't tell what this little line is though, because I think it's part of the image texture maybe or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was a silly project. Nothing ever came from it. But sometimes you just have projects like that. Motion tracking. Uh-oh. Now we're getting into the fun VFX-y stuff. Yeah, so here is one of my first visual effects shots ever. Let's put it in DaVinci so we can cache it real quick. Yeah, so you know, it's pretty decent. You know, I'm not doing any lens distortion or, you know, grain or anything like that, but like the lighting matches pretty well. And not because I did that on purpose, but because it like just worked out. Like when I say this is like one of the original shots I've done, it's like back there. Yeah, 2019. So this is probably the earliest one we've seen today. So yeah. Let's see, we have track 2. I was very good at naming stuff back then and kind of just dumping everything in a folder. I would have finals like for Instagram and stuff like that. You know? Whatever, videos. Oh yeah, so here's the original video. Literally just putting me a piece of paper, just trying to learn camera tracking. You know, stuff like this is made my career, right? And it's it might seem simple, but like, you know, stuff like this is building blocks to something greater. Yeah, so here's a camera track. I think it's camera, you know, it sticks pretty well. There's a little bit of movement, and I couldn't figure out the harsh edge here and stuff. How I do that nowadays, by the way, for anybody who's curious, I would extend this out just ever so slightly more, and then just in compositing, I'd probably mask it and feather it in compositing. But I didn't know compositing. I was like, I had no idea what compositing was. Also, by the way, it looks different here because I use aces now, my color management. So back in the day we had cycles, and we used, was this Filmic? Was Filmic standard back in the day? It might have even been something other than Filmic. I think back when I was originally learning there, Filmic wasn't even out yet or something. But yeah, this light, by the way, is literally the default light of Blender. I don't even think, I think I maybe moved the position of it a little bit, and maybe played around with the power and stuff like that. But I got super lucky that it just kind of looked like it matched. So yeah, just quick, dirty, nothing else. Let's see compositing. Yeah, literally just a super simple composite. I'm brightening. Okay, I'm doing some compositing. I'm contrasting it a ton for some reason, but you know, I still have the sense of like there's something to do with this compositing section. So yeah, man, this is probably like I would say this is one of the shots that like got me into visual effects. You know, like I might keep this project honestly because it's not that much space. But this project's kind of close to my heart because it's like literally like, you know, I can pinpoint to this shot exactly where my visual effects career started. Wow, that's crazy. Well, not my like career, but like my want to make visual effects my thing. You know. Also, back then you didn't have denoising in the viewport, so all you people who like harp on denoising in the viewport abstract, then it's like, imagine not having it. Oh man, this is bringing back memories. Back in the day, what year? This was 2019, so 6 years ago now, basically. Not too long in the grand scheme of things, but for my career, that's what, like 2019 is like when I started taking it seriously. You know, before I was doing like Blender animations and stuff like that just for fun projects. I was super into Minecraft as a kid, and so I would when I didn't even have the good laptop yet. I had like a 2-core laptop and stuff like that, and I would make like simple little Minecraft animations and stuff like that. And so that's really how I got into Blender itself. But it wasn't really until like 2019 that I actually started learning like camera tracking, learning lighting, learning CGI, stuff like that. Okay, this camera tracking is kind of all over the place. I don't know if it's the same camera tracking as before, but yeah, whatever I did. I wonder if the data is still here. If I go to VFX motion tracking, no. Oh, yes. Look at that. This was back. Let's see. It doesn't have any of these settings. These are just the default settings. Let's see over here. Track. Perspective. I want to see because I'm pretty sure this is like affine or something like that. Or I might have just left it perspective actually, because you can see they're like warping and stuff like that, all this stuff, right? I am not a huge fan of that even to this day. I think it just throws a lot of data around in very strange ways. You know, you can really see it here. These are way too small for it to work. Like you need a bigger size for affine and perspective. But this is the main reason like why people ask me, why don't you use affine or perspective in camera tracking in Blender? And I'm like, you know, you get a lot of jitter and stuff like that in the markers. The position's fine. But like for me, just in my head, I like doing location or rotate any of these bottom. I don't like affine or perspective. That's just a me thing. But I rarely do Blender camera tracking nowadays. I gotta use synth eyes. Love me some synth eyes. Let's see. Yeah, and okay, so you know how I said before that was like the first shot? I think this one was technically before. But this was such an awful shot that I just forgot about it. Yeah, so 28th. No, wait a minute. No, it's after. No, this is literally the first shot. So this shot right here, like, is pretty dang good. Like, it, you know, if I can be honest, this is like, I was surprised how good this was at the time. And I think personally, it still holds up decently, you know. Like it was totally by accident, but even the shadow over here is sort of matching the intensity. It needs to be a little darker and stuff over here, but like, you know, dang, Jacob, as a first VFX shot, it's not too bad. But then I tried to strike lightning to strike twice, and then did this shot and was immediately humbled again. But yeah, the motion tracking's off. The shadow, you can just see is a little blob. The lighting looks awful. This was what humbled me as a visual effects artist. And at the time, I was like wondering why it was giving me so much trouble. And what it was this shot doesn't have a lot of parallax, right? Like it's a tripod shot. I didn't shoot on a tripod, but it was basically like no parallax in the scene. So it was giving me a lot of troubles to camera track and stuff. And place it was just a whole wreck of stuff. So we can jump into this real quick, but I'm pretty sure I know. So this is the first time I think I was breaking things out into background and foreground. So yes, I was great. This was like the first time that I was learning shadow inside of Blender. So I broke the foreground and background up separately. But in compositing, I'm pretty sure I just blurred it. Yeah, so much for some reason. We'll render out a quick image. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why I blurred it out so much. I made it a lot darker. Or that's lighter. Yeah. I just remember doing this and be like, I cannot figure out the shadow, so I just blurred it. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Dang, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, so these were like my two back-to-back shots, and the first one honestly looked better, which is funny. Playing around forest. I don't remember this one. Oh yeah. Dang, Jacob, that's pretty good, bro. This was back when I was trying to be a little bit more creative and figure out stuff on my own. And I thought one day, I was like, what if we made a forest, but instead of using like a model, I use an image of a tree? How would that look? And as you can see, we got something. Oh, and volumetrics. This might be my first time with volumetrics. This is also back when I used the shading tab a lot. I don't use it a lot anymore. Oh, abstract. If abstract is still in the scene or in the stream or whatever, I was doing the emission to volume trick. No way. He and I were just talking about that the other day of how like, what? But like, I guess old Jacob, dang. So abstract, if you're still watching, this is like where you are currently, you know, with your work. That's kind of crazy. And it looks the exact same too. So. That's funny. But yeah, here's the image that I based it all off of. A very good image, you know. Very nice. We'll go to space. Let's see. I think I know this one as well. Yeah, this shot. I remember this shot. Like at the time, I was like, man, I popped off on this shot. I thought this was like one of the best shots I ever made, you know? And it's literally just a Mixamo character just standing looking into a moon PBR. Or not even a moon. I think it's like Mars or something like that. Didn't do any compositing, anything like that. The stars are procedural though. I'll hop inside of the Blender project. I think it was also on Eevee. Yeah. Or I don't think back then it was called Eevee. I think it was at this point still called, what was it called? Like Blender Render or something like that. It wasn't called Eevee back then. Let's let it load. Yeah, I don't have the textures. Do I have the Mixamo model though? Yeah, I was also like getting into lighting as well. You know? Look at the pores. It's actually not a terrible model. But yeah, I was getting into lighting. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, I got like a ugly brown color for some reason. But yeah, the stars were procedural, but I think I rendered it out as a oh, that's a diddle. Ooh, this is cool music. Tutorial coming soon. Dang, I was clickbaiting you guys even back then, huh? Did I ever do a tutorial on this? I don't even remember doing a tutorial on this. How's the 5090? Nothing on fire yet. No, mine's been fine. The only weird things that's been going on, and it's been going on with my 3090 Ti machine as well, is the recent NVIDIA drivers are awful. I had to download the studio version and all this stuff or whatever. Just some glitches here and there, but it seems to have fixed itself after some driver stuff. But yeah, 5090 is great. I can do so much more stuff with it now. Been amazing. Stop sign. Yeah, here's one of the original things. Another original project I did. This is I think this project I think is the first time I figured out HDRI. As you can see, we've seen this HDRI a ton in this stream, but this is the first project where I actually implemented it in and be like, oh man, this is also coincidentally my first asset that I did fully from scratch. So, you're witnessing history. You can see I tried to do the stop sign. I figured out UV at this point, right? Like UVs, I had a decent grasp at to project the UV onto the whatchamacallit. But yeah, literally just a bunch of scratches, stuff like that. This metal texture is awful. I wasn't even happy with it at the time. And then the UV wrapping was pretty bad. But yeah, it's just a weird kind of metal texture. I probably should have chosen another one. My PC is going crazy. Oh, that's because it's on CPU. No wonder. There we go. But I didn't know at the time about array modifier, so I probably would have arrayed this. I literally just duplicated it down a ton of times and stuff, so that was super annoying. I even did some decent detail of like some nuts and bolts. It looks like my, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't even know how I made that topology. I'm like baffling myself of how I even did that. Yeah, that's weird. I think I beveled the edges or something like that. Here, let's try to recreate that. What the heck? I don't even know what I have done, like a circle. And that's 6 faces. Okay, so I think I did something like this. You know, F, E, extrude that. And I think I literally just like selected all this stuff. I think I beveled it twice, something like that. And then I like, yeah, I don't even know how I don't know. Jacob back then was better than I am now, apparently. I have a 3090 Ti myself. I think the 50 is worth the money for the gain. So here's the thing. What I would tell you is I have 2 machines now, so I use like one machine when I'm not using the other now, and it's great. The 5090 renders 4 times as fast than the 3090 Ti for me, which is a huge benefit. The only thing though is that denoising is so much more annoying now. I was doing a render and the difference between, so I rendered, it was like 1 minute and 5 seconds on the 5090 machine, and the same project and stuff on the other machine was 1 minute and 55 seconds. The reason, I mean, that still is like a whole minute. It's almost double the speed, right? But it's not quadruple the speed. The reason being is that my CPUs are pretty much, you know, identical. They're, you know, the new one is faster, but not ever so much so. So like when it would go through the denoising process, right, it'd be super slow to denoise because I would have a ton of denoise nodes and stuff like that in the project. And so it would literally blip. Like I would have it set to 1024 samples or something like that, and it would like render on the GPU like super fast, and then the actual compositing and denoising would take super slow. So for me, it's not totally worth it. What's nice about it though is I can set the sample count up much higher. Like before on the 3090 PC, at like 4K for instance, I'd only set it to like 128 sample count. At 4K on this machine, I can render twice as fast at 1024 sample count. So the quality is much better, but the render times are just double compared to the quadruple I was expecting. But that's mostly a CPU issue, not a GPU issue. So that's my basic explanation. Hopefully that makes it a little bit more sense. Scale the upper vertex. Descale maybe, I don't know. I'm not spending too much time on that. Water. Let's see what water is. Back then I had a lot of corrupted files. I don't know why. It's kind of weird back then. Oh yeah. This is my first water simulation. You can see. Look at that. I remember thinking the end was so beautiful back in the day. Like I was so impressed with myself that I made the ending like look so like picturesque. This or whatever, I was like, oh man, that looks so good because of the light hitting here, you know, the HRI in the background and stuff like that. So this is funny. Yeah, Blender Sims, you know, I just wanted like a water droplet hitting the ground, and even that was a little tough to do. See if the data's still here though. No, this one's still on. But like decent camera. Let's see the camera animation. Yeah, I think I just keyframed it a bunch. Instead of keyframing it now, what I would probably do is just put it on a curve and make it go around, or do the same exact thing that I was doing said before, where I put like an empty in the middle of the scene and just rotate the empty and scale the empty. You know, that'd probably be better. So what CPU are you running then? So I got a 285 K on the new one, and then I have a 14700K on the old one. So the newest i9 version on the new one, and then the last generation i7 on the old one. So they're like pretty comparable. I think they're both, I think it's like 20 cores and 24 cores on this new one. So I don't know. I don't do much with a CPU besides denoising. And then of course like Nuke and like DaVinci Resolve and stuff like that. But that stuff I've never had a problem with. It's only just rendering out huge scenes because my scope keeps going up, but my, you know, patience keeps going down. And also I just want to create more like animation stuff now. Like I just posted a shameless plug for the Discord. Join in the description below, everybody. I will be watching you. I think we have gotten a couple new people since the stream. Yep. Looks like one. So welcome. But I posted on the Finished Work Showcase, which by the way, you can post as well too. We have many people posting here all the time. I love seeing you guys' work. But this shot is the last shot we did on stream. So you can see the difference in quality. This one was like a 1024 sample count, I think. And like with the glass and all that stuff or whatever. It was super, especially depth of field with the 5090, insane, like night and day difference. It's opened up so many more possibilities for my work, because for a while I feel like I was being held back a little bit by the hardware and my time, because like this stuff that I do is more like personal work, but like I have clients and all this stuff all the time. I know it's very first world problems and stuff, so I felt like my actual work quality was going down because I just didn't have any time to like focus on my craft. And now the 5090 machine has enabled me to still work on my actual skills and my personal projects, all that stuff, and actually be an artist again, versus just working on client projects, you know. So that's that's the biggest thing in my mind that's it unlocked for me, and for the money I paid for it, well worth it. You know, you can't put a price tag on that, because that's not only just sanity and making you enjoy the process that much more, but also it's like future investment into yourself, right? Because like all this stuff that I'm making, like this shot and stuff right here, that's like helping me get my name out there more, you know, that I can do this level of work. But also just, you know, I like making this shot and showing it to the world. You know, I want this stuff to like be like a cool, like, you know, I want other artists to be inspired by my work, you know. Lame stuff here, but yeah, anyway, I just want to explain that real quick. We just finished water. We are almost done. Got 2 more. I think the last one's pretty fun though, if I remember. So we got some I know what this one is. This is the other quintessential, like, I feel like every artist does it at one point. It's the wine glass. Turn around denoising. The quintessential wine glass, very important for my for this project for me, was to get fingerprints on the glass. This is like when I started to develop my eye for like the imperfections and stuff that like really makes stuff realistic. I don't think I did a great job. I think like something's wonky. Let's see. Oh, I did the fingerprints in the displacement for some reason. Let's not do that. Place the fingerprints in the roughness. Make sure it's set to non-color. Yep. Oh, is this the normal? This is the normal. Let's see if there's a yeah, fingerprints. Let's do roughness. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. It's a JPEG file though, so it's not gonna look great. Yeah, a lot of this is all JPEG, unfortunately. JPEG just compresses weird with textures. If you want really fine textures and stuff, you want to do PNG. JPEG is good for like background stuff and, you know, stuff like that. But like for PBR textures that you are very close up to, PNG is the way to go. Tonji, what is going on? Love watching your streams. Thanks for doing that. I wonder if I could ask a few questions regarding the render passes. If you're talking about these shots, you can, but if you want to ask me like more specific questions, I would say go hop on the Discord, because I want to keep this stream focused to like what we're doing currently. So go join the Discord if you have any specific questions and stuff like that. We also have other members as well that can help you out if you get stuck. But yeah, if it's about this shot, I can answer, but some pretty greasy fingers, of course. But yeah. Yeah, so just a quintessential kind of wine glass. Let's see the actual finals I did. Bandicam, no way. Ah man, Bandicam takes me back. This is how I used to do screenshots. This was, I think, before I realized you could just inspect the screen and take a screen grab, or maybe they didn't even have this back then. I don't even know. And no, I think this is the updated version of Blender. I was trying to see if the UI, because I used to work on the old version of Blender before the UI updates. As you can see, look how noisy it is on this. You guys have it so easy nowadays with your denoise filter and stuff. This is how we used to be able to judge stuff in CG. You know, you would have to kind of fill in the blanks of like what like this is right here, right? Or just set the sample count up higher and just let it load for a minute in the viewport, right? And you can't move your screen because as soon as you move the screen, it re-updates. So you guys have it so easy nowadays. You can just denoise it and see pretty much exactly what it's going to look like instantly. To be fair, I have that as well too, and it's awesome now. But yeah, so these are just some like background behind the scenes shots. Oh yeah, I was super like trying to get fancy in my Instagram posting back in the day, so you can see the fingerprint mask, the bottle texture. Ew, look at this back in the day. Ugh, disgusting. Yeah, so I didn't organize my textures, as you can see. See the wine glasses. Yeah, so here are the shot. Again, all this stuff in the background is just an HRI. But you can see I was testing around with some composition and like some depth of field. Back then I did not denoise, so have some denoising stuff. Flip them. For some reason I was getting kind of like a green hue. I remember hating that back in the day. So I didn't know how to fix that. But as you can see, all those imperfections, that's like, I remember seeing this shot and be like, dang, Jacob, there's no getting better than this. Yeah, close up to see all the scratches and stuff. Yeah, this one was really cool to me. And to be fair, I mean, like, you know, when you're a beginner and you get a result that looks like this and stuff, it like is super, super nice. What I would say now is there's a lot of fingerprints. A very, like you said, very greasy hand and stuff. A lot of scratches. Okay, that was the last one. Nice. So that's the wine glass. And then we have two more that I want to check out. The World War II scene. I know exactly what this is. We'll see the final image if I can find it. I actually think I saved it in that other folder. It is... Let's see. Where would that be? Here it is. Yeah, so this shot. This was one of the first shots where I actually thought it looked pretty realistic. It's very dark and the lighting I'm not happy with anymore. But from a realism perspective, I remember this was kind of like where it started making a little bit more sense, right? In terms of adding multiple foliages, a lot of detail on the ground, you know, a lot of like just, you know, a lot of diffusion or not diffusion, displacement in the ground and stuff like that. Super, super important. I was trying to get the clouds to reflect up here. I think this is actually done in compositing, so that's why we don't have the reflections of the clouds and stuff. That's unfortunate, but these are just some free models found online. But yeah, let's go into the Blender project now. Yeah, you can see the fog. I love using that fog stuff. Oh, unfortunately, a lot of stuff is broken. Oh wait, this is another shot. We have an HRI over here. Let's go to layout. I want to see some of this stuff. Let's go to world. Let's see. Yeah, because this is, I think, a failed shot. And so I failed this shot and then ended up going to the next. Yeah, so I wanted to do like a very nighttime shot, you know, that's supposed to be the moon. So old Jacob saw. But yeah, this is where I started to get more into like displacement. I couldn't figure out why it looks so blocky, but now it's obvious that like this is a massive... I want to see the the topology or whatever. I would need to dice this up so finely to get all that mesh out, right? Because it's super blocky. And that's why adaptive subdivision is great. Abstract. But anyway, so that shot was kind of a failed shot. Then is it this one? I'm hoping I still have that project. No, unfortunately, I don't think I do. Dang. Oh, I mean, you saw the final project in the file. So this is what it looked like. But yeah. And then the final thing I want to check out for this stream, and then we'll call it a day, is I want to check out the startup file that I used to use. Okay, so we have a default scene, the camera, the cube, the light. I want to see what else is different though. The shading, I changed some things in the shading tab just to make it a little bit easier. I think also in the UV editing workspace, I removed some things. And then in compositing, no, compositing looks the same. See the VFX motion tracking tab? Yeah. I don't know what I did. So just me setting up some file stuff. So yeah, that's my default file. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much everything. These projects are what made my career, and so I'm very fond of them. But now I think I have definitely improved, and you know, especially now with like the new machine I have and all this stuff or whatever, I'm like improving now more than ever, I feel. And so it's just super cool kind of seeing where it all began. I highly recommend you guys always try to keep your files if you can. Now that I've done this stuff, I'm probably going to delete all the files that you saw besides like the ones I really want to keep, because they're not taking up too much space. Besides like the render, like the CG render passes I used to do and stuff, take up a lot of space, and they're not being used and never will be and stuff, right? But yeah, that is pretty much it. Thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this little stream. I will be on the Discord in a little bit if you want to hop on over there. Again, the link is down below if you want to go ahead and join the Discord. I would love to see some of you guys on the Discord. If we're trying to get to 500 members here soon. We're at 406, and so every single stream we gain a couple here and there. But I am also going to start a bi-weekly challenge. I think we're going to do bi-weekly instead of weekly, just so you guys have a little bit more time for it and we don't burn people out by doing it every single week. But we have a new challenge coming up here soon, and there are some amazing rewards that I want to share with you guys super soon. So I can't wait to see that. But thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.